Welcome to The Answer. So many people ask me, well, what's the question? So the answer was created because the question I received for the past, I would say 25 years is, Lee, I got this training. I'm no problem when it comes to committing to my exercise, but what do I eat and how do I manage stress outside of my training, outside of my fitness, whether it's walking programs or people were doing in a swimming program, fitness program. It didn't matter what the training regimen was. Even sports, I had athletes and kids and youth and teens and school age children all wondering, even the parents wondering, what do we eat? So I figured I'm going to put together the answer. So the answer is all about a balance between our spirit and what makes us drive, meaning our soul, what makes decisions for us, and how we arrive at sort of our snacking and our mindless eating, and why does that happen when we kind of know what to do, and then what the food is, and sort of how to manage and relate that all back to our lifestyle. So our balance between our training and our food and managing our spirit. Okay. So the teachings that I'm going to offer are very, very simple, basic. I mean, almost like you've heard it before, because the way we're going to be learning how to eat is exactly the way Mother Nature intended for us to eat. Nothing complicated. This is not about eating organic. This is not about your glycemic index and counting calories, or whether or not it's gluten, whether or not it's fasting, or what other diets? There's Atkins, like if it's all meat. What else has come out lately? It's keto. It's not about that. This is about simply working with our diet, what we eat, not going on a diet. A diet, the word diet itself, to me, is the word die with a T on the end. So it's almost like you're killing a part of your spirit, the things you love to eat, because I'm going to teach you that you can eat the things you love to eat, obviously in moderation, and I'm going to explain portions, and I'm going to explain when and how much and where and timing and so on and so forth, but you can have them, okay? The way I like to start, though, is if you think about, you get up in the morning, let's just say you're like, okay, I'm going to start tomorrow, or I'm going to start on Monday. Favorite 2 days of the week to start is tomorrow and Monday. Any change in your diet. But anyway, so you get to the morning, you start out really, really strong. It's not usually in the morning that you end up eating a Big Mac or ordering a pizza or diving into the chocolate. It's not the morning. It's as we move through our day, okay? So normally, if you ask me, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, think about this, okay? So this ball is going to drop and it crashes. It really crashed, okay? Like it crashed. It's got no bounce in it whatsoever. But we want, at 2 o'clock, let's say 3 o'clock in the afternoon, to feel like a bouncing, happy, bright, active, beautiful ball, all full of life and energy. How do we get that? How do some people still at 2 o'clock in the afternoon not need to reach for that sugar or reach for that coffee and spike their insulin levels, get their caffeine drive? It's almost like injecting it into their system to give them energy. Because I can tell you, if you're one of those people and that's what you are doing, typically there's something missing in your diet, and quite frankly, that is false energy. Okay? Sugar is false energy. Caffeine is false energy. False as in we think and we feel like we're, all revved up, and it suppresses sort of our appetite or that feeling of wanting to have a nap. But the truth is, the spike that you get, the fall, the crash is even worse. Where we want to stay is on a steady. So if we've got this rise and this fall all day, what we're looking for really is to stay in a steady and not hit the rise and the fall. And if we do, if we spike with even a piece of fruit, if we spike just a little bit, the drop is less and the spike is less and the drop is less. So we've got an even sort of sugar going into our body and giving us the energy that we need. So I'm going to teach you that. So that's part of the answer. But before we get started, I like to think of our body as a car. So this is Leanne. This is me. I'm a car. And what do I need in order to take care of my car, to keep my car moving, to keep it on the road so that it doesn't, rust out, get old, and I have to sell it or send it to the dump. What do I need? Well, I need a couple of things. One in particular is I need to put in gas, right? So if I want my car to move, even if it's broken down at the side of the road, a mechanic cannot come and fix it, I need gasoline. Well, our body is exactly the same. It needs gasoline, which in our body is fuel, which is food, okay? So we need to fuel our bodies. We know this already, but we're still asking for the answer. With what? What do we fuel with? And I am going to answer that. The other thing we need to do with our bodies is obviously we need to maintain them. And by maintaining them, our cars, we need to do something on a regular basis with the engine, with the motor, okay? So the motor is what moves the gasoline, moves the oils through the car, makes it run. I mean, it doesn't matter if you have nice wheels or a nice body. If that engine is not running efficiently, nothing else is going to run properly. No matter what fuel you put in, no matter what you do cleaning and washing and updating to the body of the car, fitness-wise for us. What we need to do is we need to make sure we get oil changes, we get maintenance checks, we get our plugs changed, whatnot. So what does that mean to our body? Well, we need to do something very gentle, and we want to start with a bit of a cleanse. So before we start learning about what to do, we are going to spend the next 10 days doing a reset, okay? So think of it as a maintenance check on your body. We're going to do a little maintenance, a little cleaning out of our liver, our kidneys so they run efficiently, our large intestine. Our large intestine alone is like 20 meters long, and we need to pull the sludge out of there because if we were to eat good, healthy, clean food, it won't matter because it gets stuck in the large intestine and our body can't use it efficiently and eliminate it from our bodies. So we want to do that. We want to clean out the engine, the body, okay? So I'm going to be sharing that with you. The other thing is to understand your sort of why. So why are we doing this? So if I think about it, as I said, this is really nothing new that I'm going to explain to you. And throughout the next 6 weeks that we're going to be together, it's nothing new. Please, no, it's nothing new. It's maybe something you've not heard before, or you've heard and you didn't know how to piece it together. But it really is common sense. However, common sense isn't always common practice. I say that all the time. That's what that mantra goes through my head. It's like, okay, you know what to do. Why is this so hard and difficult to do? Well, it's not really. When I get into those stuck moments, I hit that reset button. I usually need to do that cleanse. I need to do that maybe every 6 months. Everybody's different. Some people do it every 3 months. Some do it 6 months. Some do it once a year. But at least once a year we want to maintain, okay? So common sense is not always common practice. Remember that. But we're going to make it common practice as best we can. Okay, so checking your energy. The first thing is to think about that ball I just dropped. First of all, answer for me. Do you ever feel like that at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, maybe even 6 o'clock where you just could have a nap? You're like so exhausted. You can't do another thing in your day. Does that happen to you? And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But if it does, what I would suggest is that at that moment, you definitely have to recognize it. So we have to first say, okay, I see it. Now, how am I going to fix it? Okay, so I'm going to teach you how to fix that. One quick little rule, because you need to know this before we actually head into our reset or sort of cleanse, is that we want to be having something go into our body, into our car, some fuel, every 4 hours maximum. Max, okay? So we don't have, a car has a gas gauge. If I was to look inside my car, I'd say, oh, I only have this much gas left. I better fill up. We don't have that. But because we can't look anywhere in our body. But we know by the feeling, okay? And what we've learned is most North Americans need to fuel never past 4 hours, but anywhere between 2 to 4 hours based on our lifestyle. So if you're moving about, even if you're sitting at a table, me right now, this requires energy to sit up tall, sit and do work. My brain, it needs fuel, needs food in order to work and operate. So even if you're sitting at a desk, okay? So between 2 to 4 hours, that's what we have sort of calculated as when we need to fuel up so that we don't hit the sugar crash. And here's what happens. So if you go past 2, 3, 4 specifically, that's when we start to graze. Okay, so let's just think of our day like this. 12 o'clock, you ate your lunch. 2 o'clock, I mentioned that you start to crash, right? That's 2 hours. Maybe you push it to 2:30. Oh my gosh, I don't know why I'm feeling like I need something. I'm feeling nibbly. I don't know what it is, but this is the time when I want to have something, maybe even 3 o'clock. By 4 o'clock, for sure, you may feel that feeling. There is only one other feeling that you could feel, and that could be nothing. Like you're one of those that gets up in the morning, doesn't eat all day long, and you get home and you eat dinner. Well, let me tell you, what has actually happened is you've learned to suppress the feeling of hunger. We are born with that feeling. When we come out of our mother, we cry because we want to eat, okay? And with time, we have learned to suppress it. We've gotten busy with our work, busy with our lifestyle. Doesn't matter what it is, we have suppressed that feeling. We've sort of convinced ourselves or taught our body not to be hungry, okay? However, eating that large meal in the evening is not the healthiest way to get your nutrition and be able to, live your best life, okay? So we want to be eating or fueling every 4 hours. Now, what does that mean? Okay, I want to quickly identify. For myself, if I get up at, say, 6 o'clock in the morning, I have to decide, am I going to wait and continue what I'll teach you later, which is a bit of a fast? Am I going to wait until about, 8 or 9 in the morning to start my day, okay? Start my day. What that means is, am I going to start with a meal or am I going to start with a snack? Now, here's the difference. Write this down. A meal means you're going to have a carb, a protein, and a fat on your plate, okay? A snack means you're only going to have one of those fuel sources. So what it means is you might only have a carb or you may only have a protein. Rarely would you only have a fat unless you're just sort of maybe licking off almond butter, but even then you're still getting a protein, okay? So you're basically choosing one or the other. You're basically not having a full meal, okay? So a meal, all three, carbs, protein, fat. A snack, one, a carb, maybe an apple, maybe a protein, could be a slice of meat, it could be anything that you choose. So you want to know and identify how you're starting your day. So for myself, I personally get up and I start with a snack, okay? So my first fuel source is usually, a banana, a smoothie, a small yogurt. I start with a snack, okay? So I have one fuel source. And then within 2 hours, I've usually had my workout, okay? Within 2 hours, I've chosen to have my meal. And then I keep doing that. So I rotate snack, meal, right? So I start with the snack. So then in 2 hours, so at about 9 o'clock, I'm going to have my meal. Another 2 hours, I'm going to have my snack. So that's around 11. And then in 2 hours, I'm going to have my meal. So around 1. And then around 3, I'm going to have my snack. And then around 5, I'm going to have my dinner. And then guess what? I'm done. Kitchen closed. I have gotten enough calories for the day. All my nutrients for the day. I should get water. All my nutrients for the day. I have definitely set myself up for success because kitchen closed, done at 5. If I've had a really busy day and I've expended a lot of energy, a lot of calories, I may have a snack later, but I'm usually trying to not have anything from 7 at night until about 7 the next morning. Okay, but I'll talk more about that later, okay? But the reality is I like to do a 12-hour sort of fast. I give my digestive system a rest. It's for rest and repair. And that way my body isn't having to work on my digestion while I'm sleeping at night. And it can work on repairing my cells in my body and giving me energy and so on and so forth. So I've set myself up for success, okay? So I want you to set yourself up for success because if you do that, I promise you right off the get-go, if you learn nothing else, that 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock crash rarely happens. The only way it happens, honestly, is if I get off track with my snack meal and, 2 to 3 hour approach. Okay? So I don't want to go too deep into that because I want to talk about our upcoming week. So you're going to have all the notes. So you can go down below, or you go to Parlor Project website, or you can email me, learn more at parlorproject.com, and I will send you all of the tools. So we are going to have a welcome. You need to read that welcome. I'm going to go over it in a second. Our welcome and prep. You've got all the reset recipes, which are awesome. So if you need some recipes on what to cook, like, can I have salads? Is there some soups? What can I have? Okay. Shopping. I have literally itemized exactly what you need to buy. You print out your shopping list. If you don't print, have it on your phone. It's mobile friendly. So you're going to read, okay, this is what I need to shop for days 1 to 4, because I then make a new shopping list for days 5 to 7 and then for 8 to 10, because we want fresh fruit, and we'd end up with way too much in our fridge if we bought all 10 days up front. So we'd have mounds of kale, mounds of spinach. Okay, so I have done a shopping list specific to that. Then I have specifically written out how to make each smoothie for each day. Okay, it does change because we need different vitamins and minerals and trace nutrients that are in each of the different items that are in the smoothie. So a kale would be different than the leafy greens and different from the spinach. So we rotate all of that because we don't want any toxins, even any extra toxins to bung up our intestines from the different sources. Okay, so then we've got tracking sheets. It's up to you, but the key to this is to track, and I'll tell you why. So if you track, it's like doing a budget. Nobody really loves doing a budget. However, the reason is because we learn some valuable lessons from our budget on our spending, our habits, our behaviors. Same thing as your food. Food diaries for myself and many of the people I work with have been the game changer. I kid you not. They go, oh my gosh, I had no idea. Like when they have to write down every time they reached for something in the cupboards. So just write it down, okay? As well, your water consumption. Very, very important, okay? So I've got a good list of things there for you, whether it be carbs, protein, and fats, because some people don't even know what to eat. So I've got different, things that you can choose from as far as what a carb is, what a protein is, what a fat is. And I'd love to do a teaching on that, which I will. But for now, I want you to just keep it simple and follow what I've put on all of those lists. Now here is the caveat. We are going to try to eliminate caffeine from our diet. Wow, that is the mic drop. Nobody wants to eliminate caffeine. Even if it's in tea, okay, I want you to pay attention to the caffeine in your tea. Tea can have more caffeine than even coffee. And depending how much we have, how black so it's how you steep it and so on and so forth. Whether it be green tea or just, a regular tea. So what I want you to do is start to reduce it. So I want you to set up a date. So if today was Monday and you've decided you're going to start this reset on Wednesday for the next 2 days, just start to reduce your caffeine. Have a half a cup of coffee or weaken your coffee or tea, whatever it is. Just start to reduce, because on game day, which is day 1, I want you to eliminate that coffee. What's going to happen? Not just from the coffee, but because we are resetting and eliminating, we may end up with what's called like a flu-like symptom, all right? So literally like you have the flu. You might feel drained, lethargic, a little bit agitated. There's so many feelings that will come up because a lot that has to do with food has to do with feelings. I am going to teach you that one of the hardest things to give up, as you've probably learned, if you're trying to do it, is some of the foods in your life. And that's because food truly is socially acceptable. I mean, the reality is you come, you have a cup of tea. Do you want a cookie? Do you want a piece of cake? It's so social, right? So it's difficult. And it's learning to allow yourself to have that, giving yourself permission, but also knowing when to cut it off, right? Done. No more. So we're going to start with caffeine. That's a big one. And then we're going to begin our day. So when you're doing this, I want you to know that every morning you want to have your smoothie, okay? Very important. What we're doing with these smoothies is we're starting our day out with the best nutrients, the top of the line, easy to absorb, beautiful nutrients. So you're going to start your day like that. Then when you have your snack, no problem. You want to have some carrot sticks, you want to have an apple, you choose your snack. Then it's up to you. Do you want to have your smoothie for lunch? So this is your second smoothie. Each smoothie makes two, okay? So it separates into two. So I, make mason jars, and I have 2 mason jars going. One is my morning, one is my afternoon, evening, okay? You can decide. So say you're having a lunch date and you want to be, socially accepted with the group, and you want to eat regular food and not be drinking a smoothie, go ahead. And then you would have your smoothie for dinner. So you can opt to swap that out, okay? So that's the simplicity of how you do the bulk of the smoothie program. Now, be prepared to watch for water, okay? Water is very, very important. Watch for the fact that you don't want to drink water, but we have to, okay? So here's the key. I want you to write this down. So you're going to write down how much you weigh. So say I weigh 120 pounds, okay? So I'm going to write down 120 divided by 2, okay? So that's 60. 60 divided by whatever ounces fits into your cup. So the typical glass that I use is 8 ounces, okay? So I will divide that 60 by 8. So if I was to drink 8-ounce bottles, okay, 60 into 8. So that would require me to drink approximately 6 of those bottles, 5 to 6 a day. Every day I have to drink that. Now, a smoothie does have quite a bit of water. There is 16 ounces in your smoothie, okay? 16 ounces of water. So you get 2 of those 8s. So I would then require 4 more bottles of water. Can I get that in a tea? Absolutely. So I have lemon in my tea. I've had herbal teas. I drink them quite often. And if I don't finish them, I even refrigerate them, have them cold. And then can you put cucumbers and strawberries and anything into your tea? Absolutely. Or water, sorry. Yes, absolutely. You can do that too. Any way you can get that water into your body, but you want to have that clear liquid water. Don't think of the water as if you were to have a cream, soup or something. There's even water in soup, okay? But there's a lot of sodium sometimes in soup, so we just don't count that. You want to have clear, clean water. Okay, so in my food diary, I'm actually checking off. For the 10 days, I would say, definitely write everything down. And I mean everything, even how you're feeling. When did that hunger start? Why? Who were you with? Were you sitting at a table? Were you at your desk? Start to learn your behaviors and patterns. And here's why. Those behaviors and patterns will be what reverts you back to old habits. So many people out of the gates, right? They're out of the gates. They're like a free horse running in a stadium. They're like, I got this. This is easy. No problem. I love this program. Easy, easy, easy. And then somehow, they trip, okay? Horse trips, falls, gets back up. It's like, oh my goodness, I'm a little bit off balance. You get back into bad habits, okay? And those bad habits, and I use that word, bad habits, that's all they are. They're just habits. But man, are habits hard to break. They are so hard to break. But I hope in 10 days we can get you reset and we'll be ready for week 1 because there's so much coming in week 1. I'm so excited. So I want you to get started. Whatever day you decide, I want you to start, whether it's Wednesday or whether it's Monday or on Saturday because you have more time to prepare. It's very easy though when you read the shopping list. Very, very simple. But whatever day you decide to start, you're going to start. And you're going to do that cleanse for 10 straight days. When you hit about, I would say even like day 8, pop back on because we're going to talk for week 1 and we're going to really dive into a couple of things that might have come up during your reset. And if I mention them right now, I really don't think they'll stick. I think you need to figure the reset out first and then about day 8, pop on, okay? Because there's things that come up in the reset that I want to talk about. All right, so the whole program really, in my opinion, won't work unless we begin to start to address one very, very specific thing, and that's to understand that this is not a diet. So if for any reason you feel deprived, I am giving you permission to just go right ahead. Have whatever it is that you're feeling deprived. Is it a donut? I don't know. Whatever. Cookie? Whatever it is, go ahead. Have it. Who has ever said that to you? here's the reality. You're going to do it anyways. You're going to do it eventually. Whoever lives the rest of their life not having something that they decide is a treat, okay? But in my opinion, just see if you can delay that gratification. Delay it just a little bit. Just see. If it doesn't work, go ahead and have it, okay? As I said. But if you can delay it and even get through one day of not having one of those, trigger foods for you, and a treat for some people is just like nice, piece of bread with butter and, whatever. But let's see if we can get through at least one day. And then that one day sometimes will turn into 2 days. And those 2 days might turn into 3 days. And now we're creating a new pattern. Okay, we're going to start to reset some of the sugar in our body. And this cleanse, this reset, is actually going to stick a lot better. You are going to feel so good. Okay, but we got to get through those first 3 days. So the first 3 days are the worst. Headaches. You might even get a little bit of constipation, or you might eliminate quite a bit. You might want to give up. You just might want to quit. You might feel hunger. You might be disoriented. However, the opposite has happened for many, many people. They finally have control back. Someone's telling them exactly what to do, how to do it, when to do it. They feel great. Yeah, they have a bit of a headache, but the rest feels so good. They're not thinking even and feeling like, I don't know, the bloating goes away within 3 days. If you can get to 3 days, if you have any inflammation in the belly area, because that's usually digestive related, that starts to go away. So understand, like if you're training, like your arms and all of that, and those start to thicken, that can be sort of corrected through fitness, okay? But our belly area, they say, abs are created in the kitchen. The reality is any inflammation there, that really is due to our diet, okay? That is directly due to our diet. We really can't clean up the abs, and some people want to sculpt their abs and, tone and get stronger even for their everyday lifestyle. But we can't do that if we've got a bit of inflammation. And inflammation, everybody's told you this, I'm sure, and if you haven't heard it before, inflammation just leads to disease. And disease of our mind, of thinking we can't do things, disease as in what we buy, our clothes, it gets in the way of our tying up our shoelaces, or even worse, worse diseases, diabetes, cancer, heart, all of that. Okay, so we just want to clean that all up. So for me, to you, my best advice, from me to you, my best advice is see if you can make that 3 days, okay? But worst case, you get to that, just give yourself permission. Go to bed early, okay? Go to bed early. Try to be done. Kitchen closed 7 o'clock if you have a regular work day. Now, if you're working till 7 o'clock at night, you got to correct your day for yourself, okay? But be realistic and see what works for you, okay? Meditation, relaxation, all of that wonderful stuff. What we're going to really start to understand, though, through this work, I don't want to forget to tell you this, is that as we're going through this, I don't really love the idea of people thinking that we're doing this to lose weight, okay? Because frankly, we may see the scale go up a little bit, right? You're starting to eat properly. Maybe that triggers you to exercise more, developing more lean muscle mass, and that weighs more on the scale. What we want to start to understand is that we are releasing, okay? We are not losing. We are releasing bad habits. We release this sense of what we look like. It's more about what we feel like. And so when I think of the word lose, the other trigger for me is that when I am going to lose something, so I'm going to lose weight or, lose things. I just think lose, negative. Lose, I want to get it back. Lose, I'm competitive, so I want to win. Lose as if I've lost something, I've got to go find it. The word release, it just sticks for me. And there is power in language, okay? So I go around, I'm in the process of releasing body fat, or I'm in the process of releasing caffeine, or I'm in when I did enjoy coffee and I only had like a half a cup. I really didn't drink much. But when I released coffee completely, any caffeine for that matter, it's so freeing. It really is so freeing. You feel so good. And it's not bad for you. The problem with it for myself was that I felt the spikes, right? I just didn't enjoy that feeling. And there were other ways for me to get that spike. And that would be to stand up, do some squats, go for a nice walk, get in the forest, do some meditations. I did lots of meditations just sitting at my desk, just head down, middle of the day for 2 to 3 minutes. Deep breaths, breathing is medicine, okay? All of that really, really helped me. Okay, so we're off to a good start. We are off to a great start. Great, great start. If you have any questions at any time, I am always accessible. Learn more at parlorproject.com. You can ask any questions that come up for you, but the details in all of the handouts are really, really good. So lots and lots and lots and lots of details. I collected those details. I've been doing this this specific reset for approximately 15 years. So with the questions people would ask me, I would keep adding to the notes. Questions add to the notes. So if there's anything there that I missed, something just came to mind. Of course, no alcohol, no drinking, just for a little while. I'm sorry. I think you knew I was going to say that, but no alcohol, because that is one of the questions I get quite often. So 10 days, no alcohol. I'm not saying no alcohol forever, just 10 days. Just give your digestive system a rest. Let it rest. Let it repair. Let it then, when we get into week 1, work as efficiently. It's like when you've gone for an oil change on your car's working so efficiently. It's like, bring on the long drive, right? We take better care of our cars sometimes than we do our body. We're going for a long drive. I don't know how many long drives I've gone on and said, oh my gosh, I got to go do an oil change. Crazy, but we don't do it for ourselves. This is very healthy. It's very natural. Anyone can do it. You're eating food. We are not doing anything here that in my opinion is extreme, okay? It's not extreme at all. You're actually going to have lots of nutrients. You'll have more than you normally do get. We are not doing a fast. This is not a fast. It's completely different. A fast would mean that you're having nothing, complete elimination, okay? You're actually flooding your system with whole, beautiful, bright, gorgeous food, medicine, nutrients, okay? All of those bright vegetables. Your smoothies, some of them will be green. Some will be brown. That's the blueberries and the strawberries. Some are just gorgeous. The darker ones I put in a cup that you can't see the color. It's psychological, right? Food is so psychological. But that bright green, I want to see it, and I'm drinking it. I'm enjoying it. You can add superfoods to your smoothies if you want to, like cinnamon and turmeric or moringa. There's so many superfoods. They're different herbs. If you love them, add them, not a problem. Like bee pollen, there's so many things you could add, collagen, little bit of protein powder, totally up to you how you play with the smoothie. But otherwise, for the main ingredients, the bulk of the smoothie, please follow the ingredients to a T, okay? Follow the ingredients to a T. They're super, super easy to make. Have a great week. So in 7 days, on day 8, check back in, because we start the week 1. This is week 1, but we start the week 1 of what our changes are going to be and moving forward with our new diet, our new fuels, and how we're going to manage them. Have a blast. I'll see you soon.